I love making margaritas for my friends. When it comes to having a cocktail party, I love to make it, but what I like to do is make a batch because the last thing I want to do is be standing there shaking, just there, shaking all the time, you know what I mean? Oh yeah, yeah. First of all, the fruit. Let's take a look. When you're purchasing a lime, you want to get a lime that's deep in color. There's lots of flavor. Never get a lime that's yellow or underripe. And then it's the same with a lemon. You know, you want to get a lemon. See the way that lemon's got green on it? You want something that's bright and beautiful. You can really see the difference. Lemons and limes, a lot of the perfume is in the skin. And when we make a margarita, we always squeeze the limes out. Please don't use the bottled stuff unless you really, really need to. Please don't use the bottled stuff. It's got sodium in it and it's just not as good. You want to use fresh lime juice. So what I'm going to do is take a rasp grater. Now watch, I'm just coming around and I'm going to take about a tablespoon to a tablespoon and a half of the lime zest. See the way I've got the rasp grater and I'm holding it? A lot of people with a rasp grater, they have a tendency to go that way, but I can't control it. If I go that way, I might get some of that white pilth. That white pilth is bitter. Pilth. Doesn't it sounds like an old English word, doesn't it? Oh, you pilthy monkey. When we think about making margaritas, we always think about just lime juice, but actually balancing lemon and lime is marvelous. Using a microplane to take the lemon zest off. If there's anything you walk away from today, you've learned how to use a microplane or a rasp grater properly. And I'm going to do another one. Okay? So what we want to do is take this, and this is going to infuse, we're making sort of a sweet and sour mix. If you haven't got a squeezer, what you want to do is just roll it down, roll it on the countertop, just roll it. If you roll it, it breaks down the actual membranes and it's easier to squeeze, and you can smell it on your hands. If you can, purchase one of these. This really helps squeezing the juice out. Whenever you squeeze fruit, whether you're taking the zest off or not, make sure it's over what you want, you know, because you want to catch all that perfume that squeezes. But if you look just how easy this is, I'm looking for 2/3 of a cup of lime juice and 1/3 of a cup of lemon juice. So this is going to take a little while. I'm just going to keep squeezing these things and then we'll move on to lemon then. So I'm at 2/3 of a cup of lime juice, and lemons won't take as long. So I'm just squeezing the lemon juice. I'm trying to hold this against you. So I'll hold it this way so the cameraman can see it. So I'm squeezing just the lemons and the limes. Hey, if you've got one of those disposers at home, you know, one of them disposable sink unit things, throw a couple of these down there with some hot water and it really makes it smell nice. So just don't throw these in the trash. These are perfect for throwing down your disposal. You know that, you know, like it's in the sink and it goes. We want 1 cup. Okay, we're about there. Can you see that? Happy days. So what we want to do now is we've got the zest in there, we've got the juice. Cover this with a little something. Pop it in the refrigerator at least 4 hours to overnight. I usually do it overnight, but 4 hours is enough. What's going to happen is the perfume from that zest is going to come off and infuse the juice. It's going to be the sweetest juice that's just so bright, but it just smells lovely and it tastes so fragrant. And this is a game changer. I'm going to put this in the fridge. Cameraman's most probably going to have a wee cup of coffee and maybe a banana. He likes bananas. You're going to have that. And when we come back, we'll pass this and make this margarita. So easy, but it is my favorite. I'm not going to say the best because I'm not going to say it because I know someone won't like it. You know what I mean? I'm not Tina Turner. You're simply the best. Okay, see you in a minute. Are you ready for this margarita? I am so ready for this thing. Honest, I really am. After it's sat overnight or for 4 hours at least, what we're going to do now is I've got my scythe. Yeah, it's my fine scythe. I don't want those pieces of zest in there, but I do want to make sure all of the perfume's out of there. Now we've got ourselves a good mix. Now we know that we've got sour. We know we need sweetness, because you remember, we've got to balance it. Sweetness, sourness, sweetness, sourness. So what we're going to balance that with is some agave nectar. A lot of recipes use sugar, but I find sugar can be a little bit coarse. Some recipes use simple syrup, which is 50% water, 50% sugar, brought to a boil, cooled down. I like to use agave nectar. Keep it in the family. You know it's from agave, the tequila. Keep it in the family, it's much better. It's smoother than simple syrup. I'm gonna add some agave nectar, about 1/4 of a cup. Oh, behave. Give this a whisking together. We know that agave nectar is heavier, so we want to whisk that together. Now, when it comes to making a margarita, you have a choice. Some people like to use a blanco, blanco being the white tequila, which is just made in the steel barrel, or you could use a reposado, reposado. 1 cup of the reposado. And what I like about this one is actually it's aged about 12 months in an oak barrel. That will give it the smokiness, and that's why it's got that, you know, that lovely amber color, because it's aged, and I really do like that. I think as it ages, it sort of becomes smoother as well than a Bianco, but it's up to you. It's not going to be as smoky as a mezcal, but it's going to have a lovely flavor to it. When it comes to the orange side of this, you know, we normally think of it, I would say triple sec. If you wanted to go a little bit la-di-da, you could use Cointreau. Grand Marnier is going to add that sort of cognac taste to it, but I actually just like to use some triple sec. So now we're going to add 1 cup. For this recipe, we're actually adding equal amounts of tequila and triple sec, and I think that combination is perfect. So now we're going to add that to the juice that's been steeped and the agave nectar. What I like to do is, I never particularly cared for that salty rim, you know, on the outside. I've always found it awful. So what I like to do is just take some Molden salt, a small pinch of salt, and add the salt to it and whisk it in. And now you've got a batch of cocktails here. Depending how much your friends drink, there's enough for 6 cocktails. If you've had a bad day, there's enough for 1 person. Just put yourself a straw in there and knock yourself out. But if I pour this over some ice, you could chill this the night before. If you wanted to do some twists on this, you could bash some jalapeno, add that to it and let it infuse for half an hour. You could add some basil or cilantro, add that, cucumber. You could add some passion fruit liqueur to it. But for me, I think just a good, well-made margarita is fabulous. I hope you enjoyed this margarita recipe. We got tons more recipes. They keep on telling me every time I do these videos, I've got to tell you to subscribe. And if you like the recipe, share the recipe with your friends, because then we can show more people across the world. We've got tons of recipes on my website, johnashton.com. Until next time, happy margarita to you. Cheers. Oh, that's good. Not giving none of this to the cameraman. None. You're not having none. No, you're not. No, get out of here.